YouTube. What's up, baby? We're back in this thing again for another review. This is Q's Insight. I am Callie, and today we're going to be talking about Halo Episode 7. All right, so we're going down the line with this Halo series. We're now on Episode 8, and it's entitled Inheritance. Now, if you've been to this channel before, you already know how to do it. Started off with the premise, 3 favorite scenes, the grade, and then we on to the next one, right? So, again, Halo Episode 7 entitled Inheritance. So we start off on Madrigal, and we see that it's 2 years prior to all these events. And we see Quan's family and friends, and they're all sitting down, they're eating food, and a new soldier walks in, and he joins the table to eat. And for a second, you're thinking that Quan thinks he's a handsome guy, and she's probably gonna be nervous around him and everything like that. But in all reality, she kind of doesn't like the way that he thinks, as far as like the way that the war is going and what he's gonna do after the war. So they have an argument, and Quan's father ends up stepping in and saying, Quan, you're wrong, stop it, whatever it may be. And she ends up running off. And that was the little flashback that we got. So then we go back to the present time, and we see Quan, and she's driving on Madrigal through the desert area. And all of a sudden, she gets to a certain area because it's really like it's like a sandstorm going on, whatever you want to say. And she gets this area. She gets off her ride, and she looks around, and then these people come out of nowhere, and they put a bag over her head, and they take her. They just take her with her. And these are the people. I already knew this as soon as they ran into her. These are the people that her father had talked to. The people that Quan's aunt was telling Quan that, hey, your father one day he went to this area in the desert, found these people. They told him some stuff. He came back, and when he came back, he changed, and he knew what his purpose was. So these are those people. Anyway, these people, they take her like basically hostage per se. And then we go back to Soren, and somehow he's back on his planet, like I guess you kind of call it Planet Rebel, even though it's not a planet, it's like an asteroid that's broken into so many pieces. But I'll call it Planet Rebel. So he gets there. They have a little party. He's sitting there. He's telling stories. Everybody's eating it up and everything like that. And he has a partner, and his partner's name is Squirrel. And Squirrel is sitting there, and he's kind of mad at the fact that Soren disappeared with Quan. He didn't come back with Quan, and there was a bounty on Quan's head, and he didn't even get no money. So he left with Quan, didn't turn Quan in, and even and came back empty-handed. So it's all around like he Squirrel doesn't like what Soren has done. And so they have an argument, and Squirrel ends up telling Soren, like, people around here are talking, and they're thinking that you lost a step. And so Soren steps up to Squirrel. He's like, what do you think? You think I lost a step? And Squirrel kind of backs down, you know what I'm saying? And then Squirrel and his like lady that he was with at the party, they leave. And then Soren goes back, and he goes to talk to his wife, and his wife is like, just drop that, it's all good, let's continue the party, you know what I'm saying? And so that's what they end up doing. And then we jump back to Quan, and we see that she's been taken to like this because I guess you can call it people a tribe, you know what I'm saying? But she's been taken to their like the area where they live, you know what I'm saying? And then from there we see that Venture is actually looking for Quan, and through his henchmen he knows that Quan is there, and she's there by herself now. they knew that Soren had left back to his planet. So now, they're full head of steam just looking for Quan, and they're hoping that she doesn't find the I guess you call it like mythical people, like tribal people, mystical people, or like tribal people, whatever you want to say. Um, he's hoping that she doesn't find them because they haven't found them yet, because they just think they've been looking for them for a certain point, and they can't find them, so they're hoping that she doesn't find them, because then she'll have a haven to go be secure at, and then they will not really know where she's at. So anyways, so we know that Venture and his people are definitely doubling down on finding Quan, especially since they know that she's alone right now, she's vulnerable. So, Soren and Squirrel, they have a scene together, and they end up making up. And Squirrel ends up telling Soren, like, oh no, Soren ends up telling Squirrel, like, you know what, I've overlooked, your helpfulness to me. You've been very helpful. You're a good dude. You know what I'm saying? And I need to take that, and I need to, you know, treat you with more respect. You know what I'm saying? And so Squirrel's like, no, boss, I was tripping. I was the one that wasn't myself at the party. Everything is good. You're my boss. You know what I'm saying? Basically, like, he didn't want no problems. And Storm was like, nah, man, like, for real, like, I have to respect you more. You're my partner, and you've done nothing but right by me. And so Squirrel's like, okay, well, thank you. And he's like, you know what? Soren's like, you wanted to do like a hit, like a heist, a mission. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what it is, and we can do it. And so Squirrel tells him, hey, there's a UNSC ship that's by itself. It's not heavily um, um, it doesn't have heavy resistance on it. We can take it over, and they have these type of like drives for the spaceships, the engines. So if they were to get something like that, they would be able to be able to keep up with people or get away from people. So Soren's like, that's a good idea. Like, let's go ahead and let's go make it happen. You know what I'm saying? So then we leave them as they're going after the score, and then we go back to Quan, and Quan's learning from the head uh, mystic lady, I'll call her that, about her father coming there, and then finding this well, and then interacting with this entity that was there that wasn't from this time. And after that, he, knew everything he needed to know. And Quan is, asking the lady, like, yo, what happened? Like, how did it happen? Da, 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 da. And lady's like, you're not ready. And so Quan gets angry, and she's like, no, I am ready. I'll take on everybody and all this stuff like that. And the tribal leader, she's like, look, like, you think you're ready, huh? We'll see. So she gives Quan this drink, and Quan takes the drink, and it's kind of like a what do they call, like a DMT or something like that, like ayahuasca, like stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Where it makes you see stuff. And she goes on a spiritual journey. And through that spiritual journey, she sees a lot of the people that are around her now, and she ends up seeing Master Chief as well. And then Master Chief's not talking to her. She's trying to talk to him, like, yo, what's going on? Where you going? Why aren't you talking to me? Whatever. And he's not talking to her. And Master Chief ends up leading Quan to the well that her father once was. And then she sees her father there, and she also sees other of her ancestors. You know what I'm saying? Because this task that her father took on, and that she's trying to take on herself, has been taken on from that family lineage forever. You feel me? So they've always been entwined and in touch with this mission. You know what I'm saying? And it's been passed on generation to generation. So after talking to her father and stuff like that, she felt more at ease, better with herself. You know what I'm saying? And Quan also knows, what her task is. You know what I'm saying? What her purpose is now, just like her father found out. when he was younger. So then we go to Soren and him and Squirrel and the underlings, whatever you want to say, the other pirates. They're taking over the UNSC ship, with the goods and everything like that. And they end up making everything happen the right way. But Soren ends up teaching Squirrel a lesson, and it wasn't the worst thing. It wasn't the craziest thing that ever happened, but he did teach Squirrel a lesson. He was like, you think you can walk in my shoes? Like, you know what I'm saying? Think twice. Like, stay where you're at type stuff. So yeah. And then we go back to Venture, and he gets a pinpoint of where Quan is. So now, it's all his units heading over to where they saw Quan at, because there's like this little radar or whatever, and he knows exactly where she's at. You know what I'm saying? Exactly where she's heading to. So they're on the move. And then we end up seeing that Soren actually comes back to Quan after he's done all that stuff on his planet and, did the little score or whatever. I was like, yo, how'd you get here so fast, But Soren comes back to Quan, and, he's about to help her out. They need to escape away from, a situation that's about to occur, because Venture, he's like, I found you. Venture has to be around here. As soon as he says that, Venture, you hear him on like an intercom, whatever you want to say. Hey, come out, Quan. Da 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 da. You're surrounded. Da 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 da. So now Soren and Quan, they have to fight their way out. But being that they're heavily surrounded, and then they don't really have the means to take out everybody per se, they make a plan to blow up like this little like generator or something like that, and with that explosion, it'll probably take out all the people, and then they can escape afterwards. And so that's what happens. Soren ends up fighting Venture's man, and he pretty much does like all the work, pretty much, as she's sneakily trying to get to this area where she can blow up this generator, whatever you want to say. So they end up doing so. In the means of doing that, Soren gets shot, but he's still good to go. But they take out all the people that were working for Venture in that area, and it seems like Venture may have even gotten killed himself, but we don't know just yet. But it seemed like he did die as well from the explosion. And then from there, Quan and Soren, they go their separate ways. There was some money found when they were in that area towards the end, when they were fighting against Soren's people, and so she gave it to Soren. She also got Soren a ship, so now her debt is paid back to him. And she's like, yo, I could use you, stay. He's like, nah, it's not really my thing to fight a lost cause war. And she's like, I think you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? So obviously, bro, Soren's gonna go back to his planet for a while, chill with that money. You know what I'm saying? And then he's probably gonna end up coming back to help her out, because that's the type of person that he is. And I know that they really have respect for each other for sure. But that was basically it for this episode. 3 favorite scenes, I would say Quan and Master Chief fighting. When Quan had that spiritual journey, when she drank that like DMT, whatever they call it, she ends up having to fight Master Chief for a second. And I mean, it wasn't like a crazy fight, but I just thought it was pretty cool. After that would be Quan and her father talking. When he sees her, when Master Chief leads Quan to the well, and then she sees her father. She talks to her father, and then she also sees her ancestors. Like, that was a beautiful thing to see. You know what I'm saying? And her learning, just as her father did, what her task is going to be, and then her also getting that last moment with her father, since we know that her father's deceased. You know what I'm saying? 3rd favorite scene would be Soren taking on Venture's man, bro. This dude needs a spinoff series. He's funny. He knows how to fight, and he knows how to shoot, and he doesn't take no crap. And he's a Spartan, so like why not? But man, this dude took out so many adventures, man, by himself, man. It was just a crazy scene. But that'll be 3 of my favorite scenes. The grade for this, I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10, so not bad. I gotta say, the ending gave it that 7.5. I was gonna give it about a 7, but when Soren and Quan ended up mingling and handling what they had to handle, bumped it up to 7.5 for me. So 7.5 out of 10, above average, of course. I definitely like this episode. Slow at times, but still was an enjoyable episode. If you guys saw the episode, let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments down below. Did you like it? What were some of your favorite scenes? Do you think that this was do you think that this story, kind of wasn't needed because it didn't really deal with Master Chief? It kind of dealt with Quan. Let me know about it in the comments down below. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. As always, this is Q's Insight. I am Callie. Till next time.